Hey there! If you're thinking about buying solar panels or leasing solar panels, this would be a good video to watch. I'm going to take you through the differences between the two products and which one makes sense when. Now, my name is John and I've been doing solar for 15 years. I run a YouTube channel called My Solar Home and a website called mysolarhome.us. I work with some of the top solar installers in the country. I bring you the best equipment in terms of panels, microinverters, optimizers, and at really fair prices. Call me 609-908-3700, email me john@mysolarhome.us or visit mysolarhome.us. So what's the difference between a solar lease and a solar purchase or a solar fund? The solar lease or the solar PPA as they're sometimes called are pretty much the same kind of product. The solar lease, you have a fixed monthly payment. The solar PPA, the monthly payments go up and down. You pay less in winter and more in summer, but when you add up all your 12 monthly payments, you end up paying the same thing that you do for the lease or for the PPA. So for this video, I call the solar lease / PPA as the solar lease. Now, most folks that I talk to, they kind of think about the lease in terms of your traditional, the car lease. Now, the solar lease could not be more different than a car lease. When you're talking about a car lease, you decide that you want to buy a car, and might be a swanky little car like this one, and you decide, okay, now I've got to decide whether I want to buy this car or should I lease it. The lease is pretty attractive. You got a maintenance-free car. You can replace it with a new one after 3 years. The monthly payments are way lower than when you buy it. It's a pretty good option versus buying. The car is yours. You'll have to pay longer for it. You have to take care of maintenance, but it's yours. Those are both good options. Solar is nothing like that. When you are buying your solar system, you can decide, I want to buy that swanky solar system we researched on the web with the REC panels and the microinverters. But the moment you start looking at the lease, all that goes down the chute. You have no choice on the equipment. The solar company tells you, look, you've got a solar system up on your roof for the next 25 years. I will take care of all the maintenance. You don't have to worry what this is doing. I will give you a guarantee for power production. Why do you care what kind of panels are there, what kind of inverters are there? That's, not your business. Your nice, friendly solar company will take care of all of that. And it's maintenance free, so, you feel good about it. But you end up with something which is not the greatest. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some solar lease companies which give you decent systems, but even the best of companies with the best of intentions are going to give you a solar panel system on your roof, which is at least one generation behind, if not more. They will definitely not have microinverters. They will definitely not have optimizers, and they will definitely not have a top-notch solar panel like these. When you are thinking of buying, you can choose your panel. Hey, do I want an REC Alpha panel, which is probably the best in the world today, or a Solaria, or a Silfab, or an Aptos? The choice is yours. The secret sauce behind every solar system is the inverter. And the two top choices in the market today are the SolarEdge optimizers and the Enphase microinverters. I personally like the Enphase microinverters. You are definitely not going to get that if you go for a lease. And many solar companies, what they're going to do when they do a lease is they're going to give you a Chinese panel and a Chinese inverter. You have a much higher probability of failure because of the equipment that they're using. 25% of the string inverters tend to fail within the first 4 to 5 years. When you have failure, entire system is going to go down. The lease company is going to come back to repair your system for sure, but there is no guarantee they're going to do it quickly. They take 10 days or 15 days. You are on the hook to pay the monthly charges through all that time. Now, when you buy your system, you can buy it with inverters like the Enphase microinverters or the optimizers. The worst case would be a panel or two could fail, but 29 of your other panels will still continue to work. You will not even feel that your solar system is down. It's a bogus claim when they say that the lease is maintenance free, you have no problems. It is exactly the same, if not better, when you buy your solar system. And the experience when you have a failure, whether you have a lease system or a purchase system, is basically the same. Your local installer has to come and repair it. If they don't do it, whether it's leased or purchased, you're in trouble. One of the other big disadvantages of the solar lease versus the solar purchase is when you're going to sell your home. Supposing you have panels in your roof and they're leased and you're planning to move and sell your home, it is much more complicated when you have a lease, because the other person who's going to buy your home has to assume that lease. If your potential homeowner doesn't want the solar system, doesn't want that lease system, you will have to pay off all the remaining payments, which could be a huge chunk of money when you're selling your home. Unlike a purchase situation, you can decide to charge your next homeowner a little more for your solar. It is much easier to sell your home. You get higher values for your home. And this has been validated by the Realtors Association of America that selling homes with purchased solar panels is so much cleaner and easier than when you have leased panels. Solar panels have three big savings associated with them. Number one, all of you know, your electric bills go away. Number two, when you're buying a system, you get a 30% tax credit courtesy of the federal government. And that's money in your pocket. And number three is many states have more incentives on top of that. So you actually get money in your pocket from the state, depending on where you stay. So these three incentives are what drives the solar industry. Out of these three reasons to buy solar, when you're leasing your system, you just get one, you get a lower electric bill. You lose out on the tax credit and you lose out on the incentives. The solar lease company keeps all of that. The solar lease is a really sweet deal for the solar companies. They make the most money when they sell you a solar lease. When you buy your system, you make the most money. So is there any situation in which the solar lease might be a better choice for you? Yes. It's possible that you're on a fixed income, maybe you're on Social Security, and you really have a tight budget and you're looking to save money immediately, then the solar lease might make sense for you. So let's do an actual comparison between a solar lease and a solar purchase or solar finance purchase. If you look at how much you're going to spend over the next 25 years, this is what it looks like. The first year you spend about $1,800. Next year maybe you spend $1,850 or $1,900. I add that to the first year. I keep adding how much you're spending every year. So if you do nothing today and you keep paying your electric bills, over the next 25 years, you will end up spending about $69,000. Let's compare this if you actually lease the system. What the lease system does is it gives you a lower bill. Instead of paying the electric company $150, you might end up paying your lease company $120 or so. Now, when you buy your solar lease, you have to be careful. You have to make sure that you get a fixed payment lease, that the payment should not escalate every year. And of course, that the system should be sized right so you're actually getting a saving. A lot of solar companies and solar salesmen will end up selling you a lease where there are very little savings, and then over time, instead of what I'm showing you here, instead of the savings growing with your lease, it could actually end up you paying more than what you pay for electricity. I have seen it happen many, many times. So this is based on smart buyer who's buying a lease. He does his research and makes sure that the lease is giving him some savings. This is about the maximum that he can expect from a good solar lease, about $21,400 over the next 25 years. Now let's look at taking a loan. Now, when you buy a system and you take a loan, you get to keep the incentives, you get to keep the tax credit, plus you get the electric savings. And guess what? Your savings when you take a loan are much, much bigger. When you take a loan, your monthly payments are much lower than your lease payments. Your monthly payments when you take a loan to buy a system are also fixed. I have taken a worst case scenario where you're taking a loan for say 25 years, but the monthly amounts are fixed and ends up saving you about $38,510 over the next 25 years. And the best case scenario is if you actually bought the system and paid the money upfront and did a cash purchase. Your savings from electric, your tax credit will add up, and within 8 to 9 years, you would recover your money back. And then your savings start to accumulate. And over 25 years, you will save close to $50,000. Now, I'm assuming that there are no incentives in this state. If you are in a state like New Jersey or Connecticut or Illinois or South Carolina, your savings would be much high, could even be double this, because they have a lot of additional savings that they give you over the 25 years. So those numbers will be even better, and you don't get any of that when you do the lease. So if you look at all of this together, If you don't do solar, you're going to pay about $69,500 over the lifetime over the next 25 years to the electric company. Versus if you decided to buy your system and pay cash, instead of giving them $69,500, you would put $49,947 back into your pocket. Even if you bought the system by taking a loan, you'd still end up putting back $38,510 back into your pocket. And the third option, which is the least attractive, is the lease option, where it's possible you could get back about $21,400 back into your pocket. So I'll end with a comparison of the solar lease PPA versus the purchase or finance. Number one, choice of panels, like the best panels in the world, the REC, the Q cells, the Silfabs, etc. You have a choice when you buy or purchase. You do not have a choice when you lease. You don't have a choice in your inverters. You will end up with a string inverter if you go for the lease product. Whether you do a lease or you do a purchase, your electric savings you will get. Any incentives and tax credits are not yours if you go for the lease. The solar lease company will keep all of that. Maintenance is really not an issue. The 25-year warranties that come with purchases and finances is as good as any lease system warranty. Production guarantees you're given by the lease companies are a sham. They're very low numbers, and they will be blown away by any purchase system. The purchase and the finance, they blow the savings as compared to a lease. Finally, the ease of selling your home with a lease system versus a purchaser system is hugely different. It is so much more difficult with a lease system. That's another big reason not to consider the lease if you have a choice. Going solar is definitely the way to go. There is no point in keeping on paying your utility company for the next 25 years and making them fat cats. If you're looking for a quote for a lease or purchase or finance or a cash system, call me at 609-908-3700, email me john@mysolarhome.us, or visit mysolarhome.us. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. You have a great day.